Right now on Up with KREM, Washington Governor Jay Inslee will be in Spokane today. What we know about the places he's visiting.
Sunshine and warm temperatures today, but tomorrow we're tracking an incoming cold front that could bring a round of wind and even a little bit of snow for parts of the inland northwest.
Well, that's the numbers that will be making the call here.
Today, Washington leaders are assessing which phase of reopening each county could be in. Coming up, why Spokane County is back on the edge of moving backwards.
Gun violence in this country is an epidemic, and it's an international embarrassment.
President Biden demands change as the nation logs 2 more mass shootings.
Up with KREM starts right now with Joshua Robinson, Jeremy Legoo, and Dana Marie McNichol.
Well, breaking news this morning, Prince Philip has died at the age of 99. Taking a live look now at Windsor Castle grounds this morning, you can see aerial footage of that area right now. This is where Prince Philip passed away peacefully this morning at the castle. Now, Philip spent a month in the hospital earlier this year before being released on March 16th. Now, they did not say why he was in the hospital or whether it was COVID related, but what we do know this morning, of course, that he was Queen Elizabeth's husband and the longest serving husband of any British monarch. Now, British Prime Minister Boris Johnson paid tribute to Prince Philip this morning, and here's what he had to say.
Like the expert carriage driver that he was, he helped to steer the royal family and the monarchy so that it remains an institution indisputably vital to the balance and happiness of our national life. It is to Her Majesty and her family that our nation's thoughts must turn today, because they have lost not just a much-loved and highly respected public figure, but a devoted husband and a proud and loving father, grandfather, and in recent years, great-grandfather.
Now, Philip spent 65 years supporting the Queen, retiring from his public role in 2017. This, of course, is a developing story. We're keeping a close eye on this. We'll keep you up to date here on Up with KREM and on KREM.com. Well, good morning and thanks for joining us on Up with KREM. I'm Tim Pham, joined by meteorologist Jeremy Legoo. Jeremy, what can we expect on this Friday?
Tim, it's a bit of a chilly start to the day. There's no doubt about that. We are down in the 20s early on this morning here in Spokane. Coeur d'Alene, also a little bit cool, falling down into the 20s as well. It's a chilly start to the day. You're sitting there at 28 up in Sandpoint. How about 31 in Moses Lake and 33 over in Wenatchee? No doubt about it, you're going to notice that it just has a bit of a bite this morning with light winds. Those light winds also tend to have a bit of a bite this morning. You can see on the radar, not much offered in the way of cloud cover, and that's exactly what got us to the point where temperatures really started dropping. We'll see cloudless skies today. Tomorrow, a cold front that sweeps the region that plays a big role in what we expect as we head into the weekend. I can't wait to walk you through that, but for now, here's what you need to know as you head out the door. Temperatures this morning starting out in the 20s, climbing up into the mid-50s later on today. I think we get up near 57 here in town. But taking a look off to the north, you can see our next system already bringing sub-zero temperatures to parts of Alaska. It's chilly. I'll walk you through how that affects us coming up.
Jeremy, thanks so much. Our big story this morning, Washington Governor Jay Inslee is visiting the Spokane Arena this afternoon. The last time the governor visited Spokane was a tour of schools in February, checking on how the return to in-person learning was going for us here in the east side of the state. Now, Safeway has taken over the operations at the arena. It was previously run by Chaz Health. During a press conference on Thursday, the governor mentioned overall trends are looking up for the state. But there has been a bump in the data that may push some counties back to phase 2.
Just letting our guard down is really, really dangerous, and we believe it is one of the reasons these numbers are increasing. So this is a critical moment, as it has been all year, to remain committed to those non-pharmaceutical interventions. The vaccine's great, but if these numbers skyrocket, that vaccine is not going to bail us out.
The governor was insistent that the decision on whether counties moving back isn't up to him, but rather how the data lines up with the state metrics. Governor INSLEE is scheduled to tour the arena's mass vaccination site at 2:45. He also plans to visit Second Harvest at 4 o'clock. Well, today the state is reassessing which phase of reopening each county should be in. Right now, several counties in our state are at risk of returning to stricter coronavirus restrictions. The counties shaded in blue are seeing too many COVID cases here on your screen and too many hospitalizations to say in phase 3. Now that means the governor could roll those counties back to phase 2. Now phase 2 means businesses would have to reduce hours and capacity would be limited to 25%. An announcement is scheduled for Monday. Spokane County is in phase 3 and currently meeting metrics, but we're getting dangerously close to sliding back to phase 2. So here's a breakdown of what criteria is causing us to potentially make this jump back. Now, there's two main metrics Spokane County has to meet to be able to stay in phase 3, and here's what they are. Number one, we need less than 200 new cases per 100,000 people over the course of 2 weeks. So what does this actually mean? Because it kind of is a mouthful, but simplified based on our population size, that means that we need less than the total cases in the past 2 weeks. From March 24th to April 7th, we had 840 confirmed cases, and the second metric, we need fewer than 5 hospitalizations per 100,000 people over the course of just 1 week. Now, the last time we checked, Spokane County was close to going above the new hospitalization number. The issue with our math, though, is we're not sure exactly what population numbers or the date ranges the state will be looking at. On Thursday, we spoke to Governor INSLEE about the time frame of cases they will be using, and here's what he had to say.
Well, the numbers will be the most recent complete numbers that are available on Monday. So that's the numbers that will be making the call here. Now, there's incomplete numbers that come in for some period of time. We need to make decisions based on the complete numbers.
Health experts say case numbers directly affects hospitalizations. Health districts leaders say the more cases we have, the more likely someone here has symptoms severe enough to go to the hospital. Well, next week, everyone 16 and older in Washington will be allowed to get their COVID shots, but health leaders say you will need to be patient. That's because there likely won't be enough doses right away. For more information on vaccines in Washington and North Idaho, you can text the word vaccine to 509-448-2000, and we will send you a link. Time for your morning rush. More news in less time. Police in York County, South Carolina are trying to determine why a former Seahawk player shot and killed a doctor along with several family members before taking his own life. Law enforcement believes the former Seahawk was not a patient of Dr. Leslie, but his father, Alonzo, was, and spoke to a local station.
He was a good kid, and I think the football messed him up.
Today, the sheriff there says they still have no motive. He signed with the Seahawks back in 2014, but was released after continued struggles in training camp. Local anti-government activist Ammon Bundy was arrested twice on Thursday within a matter of hours at the Idaho Capitol building. He was taken into custody on a misdemeanor trespassing charge by state police. And after posting a $300 bond, he later returned to the state house where he was taken back into custody on a second trespassing charge. Now, the arrests are the latest in a series of brushes with the law for Bundy. Now, he was issued a no trespassing notice from ISP after refusing to leave a committee room inside the Capitol after a hearing last summer. In King County, prosecutors have filed charges in the 11th hate crime case this year. A Shoreline woman is accused of threatening and yelling slurs at her Vietnamese American neighbor. Meanwhile, a man accused of threatening Asian American women and children in Seattle was in court on Thursday. Christopher Hamner pleaded not guilty to 3 hate crime charges. Now, we were not allowed to show his face in court. Court documents say, though, he screamed profanities and threw things at their cars last month. Idaho is currently the only state where hemp is illegal, but on Thursday, the Idaho Senate voted 30-5 in favor of a bill that legalizes industrial hemp. Now, the law would change Idaho code to differentiate industrial hemp from marijuana. Industrial hemp is used in a variety of products from rope to clothing. Now, it has more than 3.3% of THC, which is the psychoactive ingredient in marijuana. The bill has already passed in the House and now heads to the governor's office. The White House is reversing a Trump-era decision to sell the Federal Archives building in Seattle. There has been a lot of opposition to the sale, even from Washington lawmakers. It would transfer millions of records to other parts of the country, including artifacts from Washington tribes. And that is your Morning Rush. More news in less time. Let us know what's happening in your neighborhood by using the hashtag #UpWithKREM on social media.
And liftoff. Soyuz MS-18 on its way to the International Space Station.
Wow, check that out. A NASA astronaut and 2 Russian cosmonauts are getting settled on the International Space Station this morning. And you're taking a live look now at the station right now. The team lifted off just after midnight our time, and it was a pretty quick trip, just 3 hours from Earth to the ISS. The crew will conduct experiments, including studies about Alzheimer's disease and portable ultrasound devices. Wow, pretty cool, and cool that we get a live look there.
Did it stop dropping?
If I could have another life, I would definitely be an astronaut.
Career change. Hopefully the boss isn't listening today. I'm kidding.
Oh, I mean, if I could pull it off, you know how difficult that would be. You know how hard those astronauts train?
Seriously.
Oh, man. And they just get to go. And imagine a 3-hour flight, and you're like, all right. So, you know, you jump on your 3-hour flight, you're like, oh, I might have a little jet lag. How about a 3-hour flight and you just lose gravity?
Yeah, I was thinking about how you would feel on losing gravity, but my thing is the food. I don't know how I'd feel about eating food, you know, all the packaged stuff. Maybe it's gotten better.
Maybe, you know, some of those don't actually look that bad. Like, I can't think of his name when he made the taco in space and the burritos. I was like, okay, I think I could live off that. Maybe not for months at a time.
Yeah,
but
true.
Few weeks.
You have to do some crunches, with maybe some upside down crunches with all the loss of gravity.
Right.
Might be harder. Who knows?
Yeah, you got to exercise somehow.
All right, still ahead this morning on Up with KREM, the great run of 2021. After the break, how you can get your hands on a Gonzaga t-shirt, and now to commemorate their historic season.
Oh, it's a cool looking shirt. This is my first time seeing it. That's a great shirt. All right, coming up after the break, we are talking weather. We're talking how the cold temperatures in Alaska right now play a role in what we can expect as we head into the weekend. We'll be right back.